Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. My name's Ruth Butler and I work as an architect and also as an RIBA client advisor, delivering low energy projects. I believe that sustainable design is inseparable from good design, and that a design can't be considered good if it has profligate use of natural resources. In 2015, I completed my own home office to the Passive House standard. And since then, I've delivered new builds, deep retrofits and conservation projects, all with a fabric first approach to low energy. Most of my projects are Passive House certified, but I design low energy buildings whether my clients ask me to or not, because it's embedded in my design process. My experience across a number of projects is that a fabric first approach adds about 7% to the net construction cost. And it's striking just how small this number is. As architects, we make 7% cost decisions all the time, whether it be when we sketch the building form or decide on materials. These decisions are embedded in our design process, and although we discuss them with clients, they're not up for grabs and they're not optional extras. Sustainability is the same. At its best, it's embedded in the design process, it informs the design, it's not optional. And it somehow always seems to be the way that the more supposed constraints you have, the better the design needs to be as a result. As architects, we're in a unique position within the project team to provide creative leadership. We have a track record of delivering low carbon projects. We do know how to do this. Our clients deserve no less than to occupy comfortable, healthy buildings that are cheap to run and don't harm the environment. And it starts by embedding sustainability into the brief. As an RIBA client advisor, I'm often called in at the brief making stage to determine the quantity of space required for a development. And it's the perfect time to talk about quality and performance as well. The Climate Change Act of 2008 provides the legislative context for this discussion, the need to be carbon zero by 2050. And the RIBA's 2030 Climate Challenge provides the roadmap for getting there. Every project can be measured against these metrics, and I'll talk about useful tools a little bit later. Of course, once carbon in use has been minimised through a fabric first approach, embodied carbon very quickly becomes important. There are some very easy wins and inevitably some more difficult decisions. Some of the easy wins include ensuring that we reuse existing buildings before we build new ones. And if we do need to design new buildings, then we make sure that they can be easily dismantled and reused. We can consider the suitability of using timber in our projects because it sequesters carbon and the benefits of recycled materials. There's no such thing as a good material, or in fact a bad one, just the need to ensure we understand our impact on the planet and that we're making informed decisions. Leadership also brings with it a responsibility to engage and educate the project team. Hands-on toolbox talks and appointing air tightness champions, for example, on site, all make a difference to the motivation of the team and the quality of the outcome. Low energy buildings are better built buildings, and they're rewarding for everybody involved. Achieving net zero carbon is a matter of producing low energy buildings that are not reliant on fossil fuels, that use materials that have low embodied carbon and then, and only then, should we consider offsetting the remaining carbon emissions. I use the Passive House Quality Standard as a starting point, as it delivers low energy in use and avoids the pitfalls of the performance gap inherent in other methods. The Passive House Planning Package is a user-friendly way of assessing carbon in use, and it also provides guidance on embodied carbon through the bolt-on called pH ribbon. The PHPP is flexible enough to be used during the early design stages where different design options can be tested. So it really is a great design tool. And PHPP is also increasingly recognised by building control bodies and local authorities. So in summary, sustainable design and good design are inseparable, and architects have the creativity and leadership to deliver low carbon design as an intrinsic part of the design process. For our clients, it should not be a bolt-on and not optional. So thank you so much for listening, and please feel free to get in touch with any questions.